There are very many things in the Bible that people have questions about, some sincere, some not so sincere. Either way, there's a thought process that's often overlooked when asking or answering, for that matter, these questions and concerns. The Bible is not a word for word account of the events that it records in Scripture. See, the Bible is a book written to express a certain point, explain a certain history, and then lead you through to a certain conclusion. Therefore, its purpose remains focused on that from the beginning through to the end. Shout out to the writers for remaining focused on the task at hand. My daughter does that. This to me is a huge nod to the idea of the Bible being a series of inspired books. When men write things, we tend to lose track and get weighed down by useless descriptives. Have you ever read a Stephen King novel? I mean, how many times do we need to see somebody go to the bathroom and brush their teeth? The Bible doesn't do that. It sticks right with the theme the whole way through. But what am I talking about? What are some of the things that we would actually love to have more information about, but it's just simply not there? The first thing we encounter like that is probably the serpent in the garden, right? I mean, we would love to know more about what this thing was. Are we talking corn snake, boa constrictor, some type of venomous thing, a dragon? What exactly is this thing? Or what about Moses and that burning bush, right? What type of bush was he actually burning? Or what about the Jonah thing? Was it a whale or a fish? I mean, what exactly is up with that? And how about that Exodus, right? I mean, next thing you know, they're here, and then the next minute, and you got or 400 years between the last Old Testament prophet and the arrival of Jesus. Oh, hey, what was Jesus like as a child? I mean, he's 12 years old, then the next thing we know, he's 30 years old. I could go on for a really long time about all these things that we would love to have more detail about that we see in Scripture. But what's my point? Why I'm even telling you this? Too often people get caught up on the wrong things that they lose sight of the point, and that's whether they be for or against Scripture. While I love a good discussion, how much time should we spend wondering what type of snake or serpent this was in the garden if that's not really the point? Or hey, how close was the Tower of Babel actually to outer space? It's vital that we learn, especially when presenting Scripture, to stay on point and make it clear that not everything is given out in exact, succinct order. Not because something is missing, but simply because not every single detail is as important as another detail. I'll leave you with something John said in his gospel. There are many other things that Jesus did, which, if they were written one by one, the world itself would not be able to contain the books that spoke about it. Now, while I would love to have a series of books simply dedicated to that, I do understand John's point. Even if there was a book dedicated entirely to the miracles Jesus did and there were thousands of these accounts, it wouldn't help anybody believe any more than if there were just 5 accounts. The point is not about the number of miracles he did, it's that he did these things that no other person can do, which helped to convince the people in his day that he was somebody special and not just an ordinary man or prophet or something like that. I mean, for most people who believe these days, it has nothing to do with the miracles that he did. We believe the accounts, but there are other reasons why we believe. I mean, you would have to admit that after a while, the miracles would get kind of tedious and sort of redundant. So there was this one time Jesus was holding this rock, and when I looked again, it was like a frog, bro. It's crazy stuff. So the Bible is a history of man's relationship with God, but in a nutshell.